Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This, to my left, is Mr. Dan Danielson. I am Rowdy Roddy Reece. We're here to talk about all things professional wrestling, but specifically today, we are going to be doing our review of AEW All In Tejas.
And we promise we're not going to go for 5.5 hours like the pay-per-view.
Oh my God, what a long ass pay-per-view. Too
Absolute
long.
full discrepancy here. That's not the word I'm thinking of. I've watched 5.5
Disclosure.
hours. Full disclosure, that's the word. Thank you. We didn't watch.
Not bad for someone who's had a fair few cans today, eh?
We did not watch the pre-show.
No, we did not.
It started. The pay-per-view started at 5 a.m.
Australian time
on a Sunday morning. So we
get fucked to begin with.
we woke up at you got here at 8 with Macca's for breakfast.
Yeah, I reckon I woke up about 6:15 this morning, and I just laid in bed for a little bit.
7:30 or so.
Yeah.
And thankfully rolled out of bed and we watched it.
Just as I arrived, fucking door gets unlocked, door comes open.
Convenient timing.
Yeah.
So we'll just quickly. We haven't watched obviously the pre-show, but the results are that the Sons of Texas defeated Shane Taylor Promotions.
Yes.
Cool, expected. Big boom AJ.
Match number 2 for Dustin Rhodes.
Of the weekend, because there was
of the weekend, within 24 hours. So
and Sammy
lots to
Guevara.
talk about that later. And Sammy.
The second
Give him
match
some credit.
was Big Boom AJ and the conglomeration.
Conglomerate.
Kyle O'Reilly hologram. And that was, I can't believe you sent me that video.
Boom!
Oh my God, I hate that so much. They defeated the Don Callis
stirring up
family.
Dan.
Look, those of you that did see the pre-show, can you please let us know in the comments
If it was good or not.
if Big Boom AJ was the one who hit his powerbomb and got the pin? Because I assume he did.
Yeah.
And which
surely.
one of the poor Don Callis family took that pinfall?
Trent Beretta for sure.
Yes, it's not Lance Archer or Sarah. That's true. And then FTR beat the Outrunners, and they supposedly said they're done with them. So that puts them towards...
And then they were announced to be on commentary for the tag title match on the main card. So
Yes.
we moved to the main card. Opening contest of the main card. The OPPS defending their AEW Trios tag titles against the D-Riders, the Death Riders.
Let's just call them the D-Riders for tonight.
The D-Riders, absolutely.
Fine?
Look, it was... Yeah. I don't think this was the right match to kick off the pay-per-view.
No, I agree. It was too slow. It didn't quite get the crowd in. I get your booking decision in that you want the Death Riders as far away from the main event to like have time between the two of them.
Yes.
But I don't think this was what needed to be there to kick off the show.
You could have had it match number 2 and that would have been fine because there was still another 5 hours to go.
I would have started with
match.
the gauntlet match.
The men's gauntlet?
Yep. I think the men's gauntlet match would have been fine to kick off.
Yes. In a way.
In a way.
We'll touch on that very shortly.
The OPPS one, obviously
huge body slam reversal spot to Wheeler Yuta while he's on top of Cesaro's shoulders.
Yep.
Or Claudio's shoulders, sorry.
Claudio's shoulders.
I absolutely love that spot.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Much to your chagrin, there was no nope spot from Samoa Joe, which was pretty depressing. Unless we just completely missed it, which...
I don't think we did. We were still invested in this early in the day.
Well, it was the start of the pay-per-view. We should have been invested.
But this was, about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
the
spinning
muscle
muscle buster for the win, which was nice to see.
And then the D-Riders just beat him up.
Yeah, stomped Joe's neck out with a steel chair. He got stretchered out, which we thought, Samoa Joe's going to come back for the main event, surely.
No, he didn't.
Talk on that later.
I guess we've said this on this pod a few times, is that AEW has too many titles, and the trios titles are one of those things that no one really cares about.
Oh, absolutely.
With the OPPS retaining, but you effectively writing Joe off TV for a while.
Why?
Do you just get rid of the trios belts?
Absolutely. I think them and the Ring of Honor ones. Sorry, Dustin.
I was going to say
we'll touch on it shortly. I just think that, especially with the fact that the OPPS have had those championships for 3 months now, and that was their first title defense.
Yeah, there's not wrestling.
Just get rid of the belts, bro. If you're not defending them at least once a month, as per WWE contract clause, 30 days. If you're not defending those belts, you are stripped. You might as well just retire the trios belts at this point. Same with your Ring of Honor ones, because who cares about Ring of Honor, Chris?
Well, they kind of brought
calling you out.
They call watching his super card. They do kind of roll into the second match, right? So which is the Casino Gauntlet. And there was the only thing that I thought about this was that there was some trios that showed up in this Gauntlet match that I was like, oh, they can go back into this trios division that they don't really have.
Yeah.
So there was the Bang Bang Gang with Juice Robinson returning.
Yeah, so let's quickly run through the entire
Did you write down every
sequential
person?
order. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Well done.
Both gauntlets. I did it, folks. I did it. Starts off with Mark Briscoe and MJF.
And Briscoe. MJF had said on Dynamite that he was going to try and finish it as quickly as possible. So a bunch of roll-ups to start with.
About 6 consecutively.
He really wanted to get this
with 2
done.
counts as well, not just 1 count. So props to them. We then had a Ricochet.
Rico J. Best Irish wrestler in the world.
Rick O'Shea.
Yep.
Bandito, Konosuke Takeshita, who had just previously fought less than 24 hours ago for the Ring of Honor Championship at Final Battle.
Against Bandito. Isn't it Bandito as the champion?
Think about what I just said.
Yep.
Bandito and Takeshita.
Oh, I know you said Takeshita. I didn't know you said Bandito and Takeshita. I thought you were just talking about Takeshita. And I was like,
I've had more to drink than Dan, and he's off his chops, mate.
That's true.
He's off his chops. Mystico, which they set this up really well because MJF was about to try and demask Bandito, but then I don't care about Mystico's entrance music. It holds some significance to the people of Mexico and Mystico himself and the crowd. Cool. Didn't need to have his music play that long. The crowd didn't really get into it. Waste of my time. Moving on.
Agree.
Josh Alexander comes out next. Anthony Bowens, Roderick Strong, Brody King. We get the surprise return of Juice Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
The Gates of Agony and the Gums would come out between Juice Robinson and the next competitor, Kota Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
They had their little fight. It was great to see the Guns back as well. Guns and Gates of Agony ended up going backstage at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The Beast Mortos, and then the greatest wrestler alive, Max Caster, who didn't even get to step foot in the ring before the match finished.
Good.
Yeah, don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, now that he's not rapping and stuff, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Because, like, what did he say? It's whatever for the best wrestler alive.
Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive.
It just doesn't work.
And I get it. I reckon he's doing it on purpose because
absolutely
he used to be so good on that microphone.
And he was always so in time and he could rhyme so well, and now he can't. I get it, but it sucks.
But it ended up rolling into the finish of Mark Briscoe, sorry. I'm just thinking of the better Briscoe.
Hitting the J Driller.
Yes, Mark Briscoe hits the J Driller drive.
On Roddy Strong.
Jesus Christ. This is going to be a mess of a podcast.
Like,
Hits it on Roddy Strong. MJF throws Mark out of the ring. 1, 2, 3. MJF is your victor for the Casino Gauntlet, which we predicted.
Look, this was 35 minutes.
It was about 10 to 15 minutes too long.
I agree. My biggest problem with this was when you read the name of all the people that were coming in, right? You know, you can have your Mystico, your Banditos, Takeshita's, etc. When I know that the main event for your title tonight is Hangman versus John Moxley, there is one person in all of those names. I'm like, it's MJF.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And
it's
Anthony
really unfortunate.
Bowens is not winning this to go for the title.
No.
Max Caster's not. Juice Robinson's not. Ricochet's not. Like, none of them. Not a single other person.
I potentially could have seen Ricochet perhaps with Hangman winning, but also I also don't care for Ricochet.
I also could have seen you giving it to Mark Briscoe because for some reason they all love him over there. And, you know, whatever. But I couldn't see anyone else but MJF winning.
Yeah.
So it was a spot fest of 35 minutes, which we said was a bit too long. Some of especially the one at the end to Max Caster, was a long gap.
Long gap between those two competitors.
And the other thing
it was just Max Caster. Yeah. And he comes out and he doesn't even get in the ring, and then the match is done like 30 seconds after he touches the apron.
Yeah. Not
Are you kidding? Like, why even bother at that point?
The other problem I think that you and I started to notice throughout the match was Nigel McGuinness couldn't keep his mouth shut. And so every time he would be like, oh, yeah, look, it's starting to get a bit busy in the ring. It looks like there could be another person coming. 10.
Oh, boom, there it is. Like, come on. Like, you can do some subtle foreshadowing, but that was just way too obvious.
Blatant. I think everyone in this match had their spots. I don't think it was a bad match. I think it was quite fun. But to me, I never had my disbelief, suspended that it was anyone but Max MJF winning this.
No.
It was always going to be MJF. Even with what's his face, MVP on commentary too.
Yeah.
Like taking his time off and coaching him and getting him back in, telling him to pick his spot. Like this was just MJF to win. And I feel like they spent a little too long trying to get me to think that maybe Mystico will do it, maybe Bandito. No, it's MJF.
No.
So right decision, too long of a match.
Yes. While we're covering the gauntlet, I want to quickly jump to the women's one because I think the pacing of the women's gauntlet was a hell of a lot better.
Yep,
I don't think it was that long, as long. If you
27.
27. So also maybe stretching a little bit too long. Mm-hmm. But let's quickly run through all the competitors for that. So we had Chris Statlander and Megan Bain open. We had Willow Nightingale and Tay Mello come out shortly after. Mm-hmm. In between Mello and Tekla, Harley Cameron would stop Penelope Ford from interfering further into the match, which she'd already done once.
Yep.
And then they would end up running backstage, and that eliminated them and Anna Jay from getting involved in that match. From there, we had Julia Hart, Queen Amanita, Mina Shirakawa, my pick for the win, Athena, Thunder Rosa, Shuri, who both Dan and I had no idea who the hell that was, so feel free to roast us in the comments if you want, but we don't care. And then your final competitor, which we were a little perplexed about, and the fact there was no surprise entrance after that, was Alex Windsor.
Was she the last one?
She was the last one.
I didn't even notice. Again, I didn't have my disbelief suspended that it was really going to be anyone but Willow or Athena. As soon as Athena music hit, I was like, yep, she's winning this because Mercedes, lol, title belts, Athena and Mercedes makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I was always on that train that you were as well. I think I agree with you that the pacing of this felt better. The men's match felt a lot like there was big spots and a few things happening, but then there was a bunch of times where people were just lying on the outside waiting.
Yeah, and I think we kind of, when we were watching, described it pretty well. It was with the men's gauntlet, there were a lot of singles one-on-one segments, whereas the women did a lot better getting all of them involved for spots. Like one spot that I noted down was Statlander powerbombing Megan Bain off the apron onto a crowd of women. Like you were getting 90% of the competitors involved in a lot of spots, which was really good to see.
Yeah. And they doubled down too on having like Julia Hart when she came down with Sky Blue. So Sky Blue got in the ring, hit a few things and then left. So you didn't have to have two competitors, but because you know it's a gauntlet match, it's no DQ, everyone was just getting involved anyway.
Yeah.
So it saves you the 2 minutes of waiting for Sky Blue's entrance for her to run in and do something. And same with like Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. Like they were just getting in and out, doing their spots and leaving.
Yeah.
I think that was better booked. I think Athena winning was, again, the right decision.
Yes.
But I can't remember who she pinned at the end. Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah, okay. Yes, because Mina was setting up for a submission, turned around into, can't remember what she calls her finisher, Athena.
Yep, and she hit that and
hit that, boom, 1, 2, 3. Excellent to see.
I think in terms of, and I will be very critical through the rest of the podcast on some of the booking decisions that Tony Khan has made with AEW, but I think realistically, the winners of the two gauntlet matches, being MJF and Athena, are the two right choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no complaints with either of those whatsoever.
I think the matches themselves were fine. I think the winners were the correct ones. That's all I'm really going to say on that part of it.
Yeah. Let's. You mentioned poor booking decisions. Let's.
Well, first, before we talk, so we're going to talk about the TNT title situation.
So before we start shitting on that match, let's touch on Adam Cole.
Baby.
Yes. We want to. Boom! Oh,
now I feel bad about it.
Yeah, now it's related to stupid ass Costco
sadness. So obviously we found out this morning that Adam Cole was not medically cleared for the match.
Yeah.
And so they changed it to a fatal 4-way. Now this is one of the booking decisions I'm going to disagree with.
Absolutely. Respectfully.
Why would you have Kyle Fletcher beat Danny Garcia to become number one contender?
Yeah.
And then do a fatal 4-way match with Kyle Fletcher and Danny Garcia and Dustin and Sammy Guevara. That doesn't make sense. I liked the fact that Adam Cole got an opportunity to come out and talk.
Yes.
Raw and emotional, clearly, because whatever.
Tears streaming before he even started talking on the microphone. And that's when you know shit, something's wrong.
Yeah, and those, look, it's clearly not a work. He's obviously injured fairly seriously. If you go and have a look already on Instagram and Twitter, I've seen, I've tried to avoid spoilers for all the wrestling shows this weekend, but Ciampa put up a post about saying that Adam Cole was one of his favorites in the NXT locker room.
Kevin Owens put up a post for him.
KO, Sammy, obviously Britt Baker. Even
I'm
put
sure
something.
Johnny Gargano's put one out as well because they've had a hell of a ton of matches together.
When wrestlers like that are during a weekend of pay-per-views and shows where they should be promoting things, are putting out posts about their friends and supporting them, it's real. It's serious.
And there's been some footage that's come out online. Speculation, of course, because we cannot confirm it. But there was a match between Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole on the May 28 edition of AEW Dynamite. And there was a powerbomb on the apron that didn't quite potentially go the way that they all expected. Adam Cole smashed his neck on the apron. So that could potentially be a precursor to whatever it is. At this point of filming, yes, not confirmed. At this point of filming, we have no idea exactly what is wrong with Adam Cole, what has happened.
Yeah.
It's purely speculation that powerbomb was potentially the cause of a career-threatening neck injury. But again, speculation. We are not saying this is exactly what happened, but connecting dots, it's potential. Because when you look at what happened with Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble spot, rumoured, not confirmed by Kevin.
You mean his head going through a ladder?
Yes. And then it wasn't until like the week of, or like 10 days out from WrestleMania that he's like, hey, shit, I'm going to take some time off.
Arm tingles.
Yeah. So
Tony Khan even said it on the post-match presser. So he had even said up until Friday night, the match between Fletcher and Cole was still on.
Yeah.
So that's less than 24 hours before the show.
Cole even competed on Collision this week. Yeah. And he looked fine.
Yeah. So something had happened, obviously, either on the Friday night or the Saturday morning where Cole said, look, I don't feel right. Maybe they ran some blood tests or something and they found something, or, it could have been, like you said, the stuff with KO where it's delayed symptoms, right?
Yeah.
He might have copped a neck injury and he didn't know it and he's been fine, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and he can't feel his left hand. Those are the kind of things that you worry about for these wrestlers, especially when, like you said, he wrestled Collision. He hit a Canadian destroyer. He was
4 or 5
totally fine.
days ago. He was good. He was fine.
So, look, all of our thoughts and prayers go out to Adam Cole.
Absolutely.
I love him as a wrestler. I think NXT Black and Gold Adam Cole was phenomenal, one of the best ever.
I've never been so entertained with wrestling in my life than watching Adam Cole in Black and Gold NXT.
The Undisputed Era was phenomenal. And his stuff
untouchable.
His stuff with MJF, Better Than You, Bebe. Like, yeah, the Devil storyline sucked, but I don't blame
It just
Adam
didn't
Cole
have the
for that.
payoff that we all wanted because of the injury.
So, look, thoughts go to Adam Cole. It was an emotional segment. I think that this is, again, a point where I will say I think TK did not book this correctly.
No.
Because if we know that Adam Cole is seriously either injured or ill or whatever it is, and he can't defend his title, that crowd was so flat for the start of this match because of that moment. Do you know how you fix that? You put
Someone
Roddy
from
Strong
Paragon
or
in it.
Kyle O'Reilly in the match on his behalf.
Yes, correct.
And
I think you described it pretty well. I think it was Tony making a decision of, hey, let's put 2 Texas locals into the match. The crowd will love that. But I don't think it just kind of fell flat. And one of the notes that I wrote was the crowd was dead.
They were really dead at the start of this.
And especially after having such an emotional announcement like that. And I feel like it's good that we had Adam Cole come out and he got to get things off his chest and explain to everyone, shit, like, I'm sorry that I can't be here for everyone. But I feel like had that potentially been on maybe the post show instead, it really sucked everyone's emotional investment out of that match.
Agree.
And it's an unfortunate part of the business.
And the problem that I have too with it was, again, the winner, right? So Dustin Rhodes wins, which is, look, fine, good on him. They told the story that he's never won a singles title. He's obviously a son of Texas. It's all there. But you know what? You never gave me a chance to get behind that story. Yeah. And you never gave the crowd a chance. Because we on pay-per-view watching it can hear Nigel and what's his face, Excalibur, talk that he's never won a title and he's finally getting a chance and look at what Dustin's done. The crowd there didn't. The crowd in the building didn't know that. So you didn't have a good promo to start it with. You didn't have any sort of investment in why you would want Sammy or Dustin to win that. because you're expecting Cole and Fletcher.
Yeah.
I'm happy to throw Danny Garcia in there because you obviously need to make a match, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if you,
absolutely.
if you have that match and you put Kyle O'Reilly in there, because we saw a couple of weeks ago when they you're Kyle, you're not Kyle match that they had on Collision. that was
Amazing.
really fun. And you have Kyle Fletcher, Kyle O'Reilly, and you have
Danny
Garcia in there.
What an amazing triple threat that would have been.
Perfect. That's fine because the crowd can get invested in Kyle defending Adam Cole.
Yep.
They can get invested in Danny Garcia getting his shot back at his title and
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher because he's the number one contender.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Why did you put Dustin and Sammy Guevara in there?
Putting them through their third match in 24 hours.
And then you kind of half told we're going to break up tag team storyline in the match because it was an accidental kick and a...
They're just time and place, guys. And that was not the time and place.
So yeah, I
At all.
really, really dislike the booking of this as a fatal four-way.
Yeah.
Look, Dustin won it. Congratulations.
With the roll up, mind you.
Yeah, that wasn't great. And the fact that Sammy was about to break it up and then didn't, and then he had to pretend like he was happy that Dustin won, even though you could tell he was a bit shitty that poor booking, don't like it. Dustin will drop this title in a couple of weeks. No one will care. I just think you
Just
really
why? Just why, bro? Just why?
fumbled this Adam Cole
Mate,
thing.
I always loved Goldust, right?
Yep.
No, this was not needed or deserved. I don't care what anyone... No. I
And
don't
then
care
the
what
Von
anyone
Erichs
says.
coming out afterwards.
And I assume his sons as well.
I don't know who they all were.
I assume. I'm pretty
Like
sure
Dustin's
commentary.
kids?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Because I know they're doing training.
Because of the big Rhodes family and everyone from the Rhodes family was there, right?
It's just like... But I want to give myself a pat on the back because I spoiled the result of that match before I even arrived at Dan's because I was doing my social media posts in the morning, hit post on Instagram, boom, first thing that pops up, and new TNT champion Dustin Rhodes. And I kind of just sat there at like 6:45 this morning. I was just like,
What?
what? Like, what? Why? What? And then the entirety of the pay-per-view up until that match, I was just like,
You did a real
playing
job not
possum.
spoiling it.
Playing
yeah.
possum, mate. And I did amazing.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Which is good because I hated all of it.
Speaking of amazing, the Young Bucks, the
Oh, the
EVPs, the founders of AEW versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Whose house?
Swerve's house. Look,
Amazing match.
I'd seen during the week that there was talk that they were going to do some big entrances for this match. They were all going to get special
All
entrances.
of them got big entrances.
This was pretty cool. Ospreay to become like an official assassin.
Yeah.
As much as he loves like Assassin's Creed.
He Rey Mysterio'd the shit out of that entrance.
That was quite fun. So that was really cool to see him come out to that. Swerve getting the entrance. So he had Jojo Offerman,
Yes.
who is the announcer for Collision, and obviously
Yes.
Bray's
We did some research.
widow.
Yes.
Sing him to the ring, or sing a song before he came to the ring. What did she sing?
Yeah, can't remember.
Can't remember the song.
But it used to be Swerve's entrance music pre
On the
WWE.
Indies.
Yeah.
So it was his indie song. So that kind of puts more context to it because we were kind of like, why is she?
Yes.
Like we didn't get this entrance.
And then during the singing, the Titantron, like little lights everywhere, and then it just merges into the Bray Wyatt's moth,
Firefly. Yeah.
the Firefly moth, and I don't know, it just amazing tribute, but seeing that on an AEW show just feels odd, and I get that they're just paying tribute to a friend,
Yeah.
but yeah, just I don't know, just felt weird.
It did. It felt out of place.
Not that we're saying it was bad, but it just
It felt out of place.
yeah.
And then Swerve obviously had the rest of his entrance, and then the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks, they come out onto the stage,
And they give
veer off to stage left, and everyone's like, "Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing?"
what's his face? Justin Roberts, the scroll to read.
He reads the scroll as they're on a boat, sailing through the crowd to the ring, like the founders of AEW.
They're on the first fleet. They're finally getting in.
the first professional wrestling fleet. I absolutely loved it. I was cacking up the
was
entire
great.
time. That
It was-
entrance.
it was a
it
lot
was
of
so good.
This match was 25 minutes.
Good amount of time, I think.
I think the best part with this, like we said, was that there was lots of tag team spots, and as with every Swerve and Ospreay and obviously Young Bucks match, they know how to use their time and their moments so well.
Yes.
At no point did you feel out of this match, and someone's fanging their car down my street.
Mate, if you can hear that, beautiful sound.
Good luck, editor Luke, getting rid of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there was no lost minutes. There was so much usage of the inside of the ring, the outside of the ring, the flips in and out, the TK driver onto the mats outside, the double team styles clashes, everyone hitting finishes left, right, and center. There was a little bit, maybe too many kickouts towards the end.
Yes. So let's touch on some really like big points. A Stormbreaker swerve stomp was kicked out of. Sick move. Absolutely sick. TK driver off the apron.
Yep.
Was then not capitalized on and the finish of the match. The swerve stomp tombstone was also not the finish of the match. But what was the finish of the match was just a cheeky house call and hidden blade combo.
Perfectly timed though. Like,
it was
when they were setting it up,
spot on.
They were setting it up, and I was like, look, I could tell they were they were trying to work out the timing because they're obviously both at different speeds, right? So the hidden blade, you come from behind, you whack through, and the house call, he's kind of got to get behind and hit. But you don't want to do it so that he goes too far behind and ends up like getting in Ospreay's way as they did it. Chef's kiss. They
absolutely nailed it, dude.
Perfect.
And the spot that they had where they were like doing reversals and doing super kicks and then doing the stereo Canadian destroyers and then the house call hidden blade combo, and then they were all just like flayed out in the ring. These 4 competitors, like the Young Bucks in tag matches, they know how to work the crowd. Ospreay and Swerve, both as singles and tag team competitors, know how to work the crowd. And I knew from the second we had this match announced, this is going to be one of the matches of the night. And I feel like it was pretty up there. It's definitely one of the matches of All In card, for sure.
I also like that, once they had that stipulation about the EVPs losing the EVPs, and then
major stipulation.
We both, I kind of pitched the idea that you'd take Swerve and Ospreay away from the world title scene for 12 months. You can get them to do other stuff.
And your major story arc for that was next year when All In's back in London, whose 12 months have just expired and can challenge for the world title once again? Will Ospreay. In his home country.
Love that story.
How good would that story have been? But no, much as I suspected, Ospreay and Swerve just flat out won. The EVPs are no more. They are no longer EVPs. They're just the Young Bucks again.
Which, you know what? I'm happy with that.
I miss the old Young Bucks song. Bring it back.
I just miss the Young Bucks being in tag team matches.
Yeah.
Like the talent that those guys have to put anyone else over and to give anyone else a good match is phenomenal.
It was like in building the foundation of that tag team division back in 2019 when they had Private Party beat them in the opening round of the tag team tournament. Unheard of.
Yeah. Look, this to me was my favorite match of the night, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Then we go to one of the worst matches of the night. The worst finish. God, I hate this so much.
The other tag team match.
I hate this so much.
Jesus Christ. I made sure I noted this line out because FTR were on commentary, as they alluded to on the pre-show.
Yes.
Hurt Syndicate got a questionable live music entrance from the people who do their themes. I don't remember who they are, so don't quote me on that.
We heard people.
But as someone who absolutely loves music, R&B and hip hop and all that sort of stuff may not be my major scene. I'm a metalhead and hard rocker through and through. But
if you give it away, nah, not at all.
If you're going to have a live music act, they either play the entire song live or you play an instrumental backing track so the singers can do it at their own pace. Having just the song as the entrance and then the singers singing over the top and being out of time ruins the experience.
It was pretty bad.
Terrible.
Also,
Taz called it an explosive entrance.
Mate, the only thing explosive in that was explosive diarrhea of how bad it was. It was
explosive
terrible.
diarrhea. It was not good.
And the fact that they came out first.
Yes, why are your champions coming out first? Especially if they're getting a live music entrance.
They beat Jet Speed and the Patriarchy.
Yes, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey and Christian.
Because he's the human Jet, right?
Yeah, something like that. He's just the Jet.
The Jet
and Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
With Kip Sabian and Mama Wayne at ringside.
Who I think FTR was saying that they'd like her to be their mum. And then Dax was like, stepmom, maybe. Wink. He's watched those videos in the laundry, hasn't he? Stepmom, I'm stuck. Anyway.
Oh, no.
The match was...
We're going to get cancelled.
The match was fine, right? I think Shelton and Bobby put on the power moves. It was okay.
I don't feel like Speedball and Kevin Knight got the high-flying spots that they should have.
I think Nick Wayne stole most of the high spots.
Yeah.
And I think he was the better one of all of them in the match. I also don't care for Jet Speed. And I feel like, I think I said this on the pod before, is that Mike Bailey went from the attraction, top of the pops in TNA to mid-card tag team wrestler real fast.
Yep. Same with Josh Alexander. He has faded into Don Callis obscurity.
Yeah. Not a big fan of either of those at the moment.
Yeah.
The match itself was fine. Hertzkin won.
Yes, let's talk about the finish there. So FTR at ringside got shoved around a little bit with Christian and Bobby Lashley and stuff on the outside. They made their way back into the ring. FTR came onto the apron. Christian got shoved into them, and then that led to the finish of just a simple spear to Christian. 1, 2, 3. Hertznicket retain. And then post-match shenanigans.
Not a fan.
FTR come in the ring.
Not
face to face with the patriarchy.
Hang on. Are you telling me that the post-match of this tag team title
had nothing to do with the tag team champions who just retained their championships? They quickly retreated up the ramp into obscurity.
MVP and MJF. And
yes.
Like they're all there. And
everyone was there.
It's all about them though, right?
No, the Hurt Syndicate just left.
But the guy who just won the Casino Gauntlet.
Nope. Left. They left, Dan.
Oh.
They left.
Well, that would be because of a stupid return, right?
Yes, what happened? FTR were going face to face with Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Christian steps between them.
Let's get out.
Yeah, let's go. Christian goes to step out of the ring. Nick Wayne attacks his father.
Hits the kill switch.
Hits the kill switch. They go to give him and set up a concerto.
So first of all, before we then go to the next step of how this happens.
The next step.
What I said to you was, I've seen there's been the tension, right? Where Nick's been talking and Christian's been saying that he's been doing all this stuff in the parenting. I get it.
Yeah.
But at what point in this match did Christian do anything to Nick Wayne or Mother Wayne or any of them to cause the turn right now?
Nothing. From my recollection.
Was there any reason why this needed to happen right at this point in time, other than the fact that it's on their biggest pay-per-view and FTR were also in the ring?
Yes. No.
There's not, right?
No. Just...
So you jammed this turn in.
Yes.
Right in this little post-match thing.
Just to get Adam Copeland to return and save his former best friend.
But before he decides to do that, he's got to run out
let's talk about that. Everyone wants to shit on Penta for doing his little smooth operator walk, interrupting in the Night of Champions match. He runs to the side. Runs to the side, and then he gets to the center stage, and then he does his whole semantics and does his pose, gets the pyro, while your former best friend is about to be decapitated in the ring. What are you doing, bro? You want to shit on Penta for that? Shit on Adam Copeland too.
I did like this.
No, it was dumb. It was dumb. I like the potential of having Edge and Christian reunion. I don't know if I like it in AEW because I'm an E-Chad or an E-Drone, whatever you want to call me.
Reece.
It's not Edge and Christian anymore, I know.
Go find yourself.
What sort of dog shit daytime television show line was that? Jesus Christ. Go find yourself.
That was so
Go
bad.
find yourself.
Look, I'd obviously seen all of the rumors that they want, that's what they wanted to do, right? Edge and Christian against FTR, and that's probably the end of both of their careers. It's fine. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They rushed this Nick Wayne turn. They rushed this Edge return or Adam Copeland return.
I want to preface this or add on to this by saying we don't routinely watch Dynamite and Collision every week.
Yeah.
So there may have been little backstage nuances that we may have missed that foreshadowed this turn. But to us, it seemed out of context.
And it just, and then for Adam Copeland to come back and with Spike, whack the chair out of Nick Wayne's hand, and then everyone just runs away, and then he leaves Spike in the ring, and then that's what Christian's just holding towards the end. He's like,
why was Christian holding
Spike?
That? Go find yourself.
Go find yourself is a terrible one. I know.
I know it's a play. We know it's a play on the go fuck yourself thing that they did years ago.
But it's terrible.
Terrible. Daytime soap opera.
It's really bad.
Mush. Shit.
Absolute mud show.
Let's talk about another match.
Oh, yeah, let's move on.
The next match. The Women's Championship. The AEW Women's Championship. Mercedes Moné attempting to dethrone Toni Storm after winning the Women's Owen Hart tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Thank God Mercedes Moné did not win. Toni Storm retains her championship. But let's talk about some other shenanigans with that match because Mercedes Moné gets a massive spectacle entrance. Mm-hmm. Dallas cheerleaders, or whoever the hell they were, the cheerleaders for the Texas Rangers, I assume.
I think it was the baseball team, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Low rider. You don't even know Eddie Guerrero. Poser. Anyway, I liked Toni Storm entrance because
this is quite
I'm a
big.
massive Australian mark for any Australian wrestler. But let's talk about some of the shenanigans during this match. I feel like for probably half this match, it was potentially a little slow, but they really built up to their massive ending.
Yep.
We had Mercedes kick out of a Storm Zero.
Well, a hip attack and a Storm Zero and
Yes.
she kicked out. And I was like, oh, that's
Okay.
fine.
But then we had some dueling bank statement spots.
this was the spot that got me. So
Oh, Dan was fired up.
I was so mad. So
Fired up.
Mercedes was on top of the match. She had her in the bank statement. They rolled through. Toni got her in an almost bank statement. She rolled through. Then she rolled through. And then she picked her up. And Toni picked her up. 1 Storm Zero.
Gets back up.
2 Storm Zeros.
Gets back up
Turn
again.
around. 3 Storm Zeros.
3.
1, 2.
Kick out. Fuck
What
off.
do you mean?
What do you mean kick out of 3 of her finishes?
In a row. It's not like it was a Storm Zero, a bunch of different moves, and then she hit another one
Yeah,
in 5 minutes.
no.
1, 2, 3.
Consecutively. Repeatedly.
What in the actual?
God, mud show, man.
And that was the point where I
Mud
was
show.
like, fuck, this Mercedes is now going to win because
Yes.
there's no way that she can do anything more than 3 consecutive finishing moves.
But Dan, she did.
She did?
A Storm Zero off the second rope. A super Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, sure.
Come on, guys.
I'm glad it was the
Why do 3 consecutively? I feel like we had the same shit happen, Mariah versus Toni, at AEW Grand Slam Brisbane, where we had a great spot that could have finished the match.
And then she won with a roll-up.
And then, yeah, wins with a bloody roll-up.
Could you
3 consecutive Storm Zeros.
could you imagine WrestleMania 40?
Done.
Do you imagine WrestleMania 40?
Cody hits his triple
1,
crossroads.
3 crossroads and Roman Reigns and he kicks out.
Could you imagine? Riots in the streets, guys. Come on. But the positive side,
Yeah.
Toni Storm won.
Correct. And,
God.
and I think right decision for us, obviously being Aussies, we
Yeah,
prefer Toni.
absolutely. You can see the doll right in front of us.
But the booking of the finish is what annoys me.
One of 2,000. Eat shit.
Yeah, look at us.
Special Australian edition
We're so special.
with the terrible fucking Queensland gear on it.
Oh, they want Origin too. Yeah, let's not talk about
Depressing.
that. But look, I think Lockie was watching the stuff with us at this point too, and he was like, "Is Mercedes really that good of a wrestler?"
And we
Yeah,
gave her
she
the
is.
credit. Yes, we gave her the credit.
The match was quite good. The two of them wrestled really well together. I like the winner. I like that this sets up, but then also I was confused because when you have Athena win your battle royal,
That really set up Mercedes winning
100%.
because there's been so much history with Athena and Mercedes. Like they've faced off in the Owen Hart tournament,
yep,
which was Athena's first pinfall loss as Ring of Honor champion.
in like 800 days or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
800 days. Crazy. So you could have easily just been like, yeah, Mercedes wins, Athena, Mercedes, title for title, Mercedes wins, lol.
But they didn't.
But they didn't. And I'm actually kind of impressed, to be honest. And I halfway through that match, I was like, you know what if they actually just do it and they have Toni Storm win?
And they did.
I was so
And I
happy.
think that makes.
I was happy.
Look, it makes it a bit more interesting. I think.
I was
of how the
happier
division
after that match than I was on my wedding day.
You were pretty excited.
I was pretty happy.
You were pretty excited.
Maybe not so much. Don't show my wife this clip, please. Moving
Put it
on
on TikTok,
to probably one of the biggest letdowns of the night. Omega versus
Controversial.
Okada. Was it though? Yes, it was a big letdown, especially for someone who had never watched an Okada and Omega match before. I went into this with high hopes. I did not take any notes, so don't ask me what any big, massive spots were. I tried to immerse myself in the moment, and I was let down.
Yeah, look, as someone who has gone back and watched their New Japan stuff and seen a couple of the first matches that they had, Tokyo Dome obviously makes those matches incredible.
Yeah,
6.5 star classic or whatever Dave Meltzer made. I'm pretty sure it was Okada Omega 2.
Yeah,
It was,
I think so.
The first one was like 5.5. The second one was like 6.5. It was just better and better and better. This was the fourth one. The promo package for it beforehand was really
Amazing.
good.
They did so
obviously-
well.
They obviously put together everything across their career, how these two have intertwined with each other.
Yeah, and I think like the entire show had great promo packages in the lead up to matches, except for the TNT because they had to force that
Do it
together.
in like a day. Yeah. This was good, but like you said, I kind of felt like I didn't have the same expectations you had because I've obviously seen them before. And I am very strongly on the don't hate me internet 3-star Okada lol side of him since he's been in AEW. And this was
reinforces that,
probably
to be honest.
3.5, 4-star Okada. It was definitely more than he's done.
Dave can give that 5.
Oh, you can't give that much 5. Nah, surely.
But we know Dave Meltzer's a piece of shit, so he probably will.
The Don Callis interference and stuff was a little annoying.
I didn't mind
but
it.
part and parcel of what you get with Don Callis.
Yeah, you expect that with Don Callis being ringside.
The moves that they all did was fine. I didn't think they quite had the same sequences that they've had in the past. And it felt very slow. It was half an hour. But there was long periods of them lying outside and moving around and getting in between moves where it was less, there was less spot. It was kind of like spot, break. And look, they're older. They aren't quite the wrestlers they used to be.
Yeah.
And you look at, I think the earlier ones are a good 10, 12 years ago with these guys. So they're not the same wrestlers they were back then.
Especially post-diverticulitis too.
Absolutely. So you can't really expect that. But
I thought maybe they played on that a little bit too much.
a lot of Kenny feeling the ribs, everything all the time. But the end, look, the Kenny getting on top, hitting the one-winged angel.
The ref gets dragged out of the ring.
Ref gets dragged out, and you're like, oh, and then Callis stomps his head so he's not getting back in.
Yeah.
Because no one kicks out of the one-winged angel, and I'm glad Okada didn't.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
They kept that streak alive.
Then, because Kenny kicked out of what's his lariat called? I'm just absolutely
The
blanking.
Rainmaker?
Yeah, the Rainmaker. I'd fully blanked then. I had no clue. I was like, buckshot?
Mate,
No,
you
that's
had
not
like
him.
what, one drink today?
Shut up.
Fucking puss.
But then our mate Aubrey comes in and she's the ref and gets in the way of all the camera angles like she always does. And then Okada just wins with...
Sorry, let me put the microphone down and reenact Aubrey Edwards at some point in the show.
Yeah, okay. So like you've got the thing where it's like one Rainmaker and then Kenny kicks out and he's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then he picks him back up and then another Rainmaker and it's 1, 2, 3 and it's done.
It was such a shocking ending because it was just like boom, boom, done.
Yeah, I didn't pick it to happen that quickly. I
didn't pick Okada winning, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't pick one either way, to be fair. I couldn't have told you one way or the other. Yeah. The reason why is when I read during the week that they were saying that this is now going to be, it's a third belt and it's going to be defended separately. They now said that it's going to be defended moving forward under the Continental Classic rules. So no outside interference. Obviously, Don Callis isn't going to get involved.
But then we still have the Continental belt.
Yep, which will still go into the C2 at the end of the year and they'll still do a tournament for that. And then there's still the international title, which is separate to what this unified title is.
You don't fucking have a unification match and bring in a new belt and then just keep all 3 belts. It's the most retarded.
Remember when
it's the most dumb thing I've ever heard in my life.
Remember Eddie Kingston?
I'm going to get cancelled, man. I'm going to get cancelled. I just said the R word. Shit.
Don't say that. But yeah, like I just don't see where this goes because
it just doesn't make sense.
You've got too many titles again.
And we were going to be happy because we were getting one less belt on TV. But no, now we're getting one extra belt on TV. Like we didn't have enough belts to begin with.
And you said that the whole thing for the storyline going up to it was Okada was only siding with the Don Callis family to beat Kenny.
Yeah.
It was just for this. And so
from the context that I've seen, yeah.
When Callis came in and held his hand and stuff like that, that's great. You've now lost the EVPs.
Yeah.
So there's no more Elite, right? Hangman's obviously completely separate. The Elite's gone. So now you've just got bitch Okada, right? By himself.
I'm so sorry.
Push the wrong button. So he's by himself now.
Yeah.
If you just put him back into tournaments and just classic matches and he wants to be 4-star Okada now, cool. I'm happy to watch that on TV.
Sure.
But I don't know where your story goes with this.
No, I guess we'll see what comes and like how this develops because I just think that's a terrible decision. Keeping the lineage alive in those 2 belts as the unified title and then having the unified title defended as the Continental one, same rules, that makes the most sense.
But
there's no point. And then like when the Continental Classic comes around, the unified title is on the line, but it's not the Continental belt. But it's just been unified to create it doesn't make sense. You're trying to appease people for no reason. You just unified belts only to keep them around because people are like, oh, what's going to happen with the other belts? Grow up. Belts get unified all the time. Remember when we didn't have an Intercontinental Championship for a fair few years because it got unified with the World Heavyweight title? And then they just brought it back.
And then there was the WWE Universal title that had its own lineage, and then
What are you? Oh my god! Moving on to Texas Death. Texas Death. Holy shit!
look,
My god, dude.
I kind of forgot what Hangman and John Moxley do in terms of wrestling.
And I think it was when we got to that point where Hangman had Moxley in the triangle choke with the fork. And he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there stabbing. And you can see with every stab, after it comes out, you can see just red starting to appear. And then Moxley was just covered in blood instantaneously. And you were like, oh, shit, this is the sort of match that we're in for. Great.
Yeah, and look, it was...
Barbed wire tables pre-set up at ringside before the bell even rang, people. Holy crap.
The fork bit was what got me, because I was like, oh, look, you said as soon as you saw Hangman come out, he was in white pants, like, oh, they're going to bleed. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely going to get covered in blood. It's a Moxley match.
Oh, my God.
But I was like, they'll do it through barbed wire, or they'll do it through something with a crazy spot, and then they'll blade. Not literally jamming a fork into his forehead. Oh, it's just...
That was... going back to the whole syringe incident in the cheek, and then, like, I never actually watched it live, but the blood drinking incident and then the Triple H blood spit and, like, all that crazy sort of shit that Hangman and Swerve did, I did not expect the match to start like this, and I did not expect all the numerous things that would come after that, including real glass being dumped in the ring.
Shut up, CM Punk.
A real glass dumped in the ring, stomped on, and then just both of them just like going into it, dragging Hangman Adam Page through it.
The dragging him through it, like across.
Ridiculous.
Oh, that was bad.
And then like being up on the top turnbuckle, Moxley had barbed wire and literally just like scraped it along Hangman's back several times.
Oh, that cut.
And then like you could see like this big red streak down Hangman's back.
Look, it was a brutal death match. Full credit to Hangman to do this kind of shit again, because he's done a couple of these with Swerve.
The board with the fucking nails, bro.
Jesus. As soon as they went
they went just for a simple table.
The D Riders came out. They went to get a table to put someone through,
and you could see the board with these big like 9-inch nails. I'm gonna say it probably wasn't 9 inches. It was probably more like 4-inch nails or whatever.
It's a bit closer than 9-inch nails.
But still, it was big, long, thick, bloody nails sticking up on a board, and you're like, oh shit. So you knew nothing was happening until that came out.
That was coming out for sure.
Yeah.
It was, look, not Mina Shirakawa. God, what's her face? Marina Shafir. Going through the table was fun. That was predicted. As soon as she pulled that table out, you're like, oh, she's going through the table.
Yeah.
There was the barbed wire chair in the corner.
A deadeye through the table.
There was a deadeye through the table. There was a whole bunch of horrible spots.
The suplex to Hangman into the 2 barbed wire tables.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
There was then you got them. There was like, okay, there's a lull now in the match. What's going to happen next?
And then we started bloodlining this shit up.
Ew, bloodline rules.
It's gonna be bloodline rules.
So obviously the D Riders are all out there. They get the plastic bag to start coming in, choking out Hangman.
Wheeler Yuta is given the plastic bag, and you're like, hang on, I've seen this thing before.
We know what goes down. And then there's a big screen.
A video comes up onto the screen, and it's Darby at the top of Mount Everest, because of course he'd take a bloody video at the top of Mount Everest for his professional wrestling career. So I was like, oh shit, Darby Allin's coming out. I actually got excited for Darby for once. Look at me go.
Yeah, I know. Look at you.
But mere moments before that video started, I was like, here's your Danielson
As soon
spot.
as the plastic bag was there, it's like Danielson.
Here's your Danielson spot. And he came out with his American Dragon mask on.
Yep.
Was it? Hits the Psycho knee, takes Yuta and Claudio out of it, because Darby, he does the sting directly in the center of the ring. What? Directly down through like all the Titantron and all the scaffolding and shit.
Yep. Takes his time. He does a coffin drop.
Does a coffin drop. A huge coffin drop.
This was post Ospreay.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Ospreay. He comes out and just gets obliterated. He got taken out the same way Samoa Joe did, with the chair around the neck and then the stomp on it. So
Which is Claudio.
And man, they played those spots up so well, getting stretches involved straight away.
And they're gone. So I want to make sure that those last, to be fair.
If they both come out on Dynamite.
Oh, like Joe
done.
and
I'm
Ospreay.
so done.
No,
I'm so done.
So yeah, he got taken out quickly, and then you had Danielson, then you had Darby.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of took all of the Death Riders and stuff away, and you were left with just Hangman. And then
The Young Bucks ended up coming out.
Yep.
they really bloodlined this shit, didn't they?
they did. This was wild. This is WrestleMania 40 level.
But I feel like
everywhere.
this was warranted. This was needed
Absolutely.
for this storyline.
And this is, I really hope, the definitive. This is the end.
Yeah.
This is your Death Riders are now done.
Yeah.
This is the end of John Moxley with his story.
Yeah.
We're done. This is the pin in, literal pin in the story that this is done. Because obviously the Young Bucks kicked everyone out. Then they brought out your nail bed.
Yep.
There was a botch stomp on it. He kind of missed. And then he hit a
Oh,
nice...
mate. I know they do some dumb shit, but do you really think they'd actually stomp Hangman's face
Into nails?
into a bed of nails?
We tried.
Yes.
And then he DDT'd him into it, which looked quite painful.
Yeah.
And then Hangman eventually got back on top.
Swerve comes out with the chain wrapped around his fist, punches the Young Bucks out of contention, and then stands there and looks at Hangman and then just throws him the chain. The chain that was given to him by Hangman earlier in the week at Dynamite.
Which was the one, if you go back a couple of years, that Hangman hung Swerve with around the corner post in one of their Texas death matches.
So I forgot about that. And doesn't that bring some very bad imagery to your mind? A white man hanging a black man. Jesus Christ.
So that obviously was then utilized. What was the spot that he put Moxley onto the nails with? Did he suplex him?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. There was just so many
I can't remember if it was a straight
mind-boggling
suplex or
spots.
something, but it was just but he just Moxley just went back first, straight onto the nails, and then he wraps the chain around him and tries to hang him over one side, and it doesn't work, and then he does 2-3 buckshots,
Yep. And then he hangs him over the side, like that way of hard cam.
and then
Mox taps,
out.
which I think, given the fact that he ended the Swerve death match with that spot, fitting end to this match. Thank God John Moxley lost.
yes,
Much to our chagrin, though, we did not have the moment of Hangman opening the briefcase and seeing pieces of the AEW Championship.
Yeah.
No, it was just the AEW Championship. Mind you, with Bryan Danielson's side plates still on
which
it.
was a very nice touch.
Extremely amazing touch to see, because I noticed that straight away. I was like, who's... And I noticed the dragon, and I was like, oh, shit, they've still got Danielson's side plates on it.
Well, because
Which shows you, like, they legitimately just grabbed that belt, put it in the briefcase, taped it shut, and have not touched it since.
yep, and that's good storytelling. I like that.
I absolutely love that. Love that.
Look, this was wild. If you don't like blood, if you don't like
watch
death
it.
matches, don't watch it because it was absolutely insanity.
Yeah.
But again, the right decision. And
Yes,
I think
correct.
my biggest problem with the majority of this card, was the fact that it was nearly 6 goddamn hours long.
This just brings you back to the pre 2-night WrestleMania days where it was just, and like even back then, once they started going 2 nights, I was like, shit, yeah, that's a good idea. I'd rather sit through 3.5 hour shows
Yeah.
than sit through one show that's 6.5 hours.
But also
So
think
draining, dude.
you and I don't watch AEW religiously
Yeah.
like some others do, right? On our Discord, I'll give the shout out to Corey and Chris who do watch it a lot more, especially the Ring of Honor stuff too.
Yeah.
You would have had Dynamite, Collision, Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor, and then 6 hours of this, or 7 hours if you want to include the pre-show. That's a lot of
that's a
just AEW this weekend.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to take in. It's way too much wrestling. I think that some of the booking decisions, I wasn't a fan
questionable.
of the way some of the things were booked. But coming out of the event, I think AEW's in the right spot.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think
Absolutely.
having, Ospreay and Swerve win, they take the control back. EVPs are gone. Good.
It's just Tony Khan in charge now.
MJF is the next person to get a world title shot. That makes sense. Athena makes sense.
Yeah.
The Hurt Syndicate staying together makes sense. Not a huge fan of the FTR and Cope and Christian thing, but whatever.
You can't win with everything, man. And I just want to give a mention to us. I know that there's been a lot of wrestling this week. A lot of the time, due to work and like other commitments, I cut out Dynamite and NXT.
Yep.
This is probably the first time that I've ever been more keen for an AEW show over a WWE show when they've been running on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And the fact that WWE has 3 shows this weekend, and I've been more keen for All In than all 3 of them.
Yep. And I think
We're even just flat out not watching Great American Bash today. That's how much wrestling is on this weekend. It's too much.
It's a lot.
It's too much.
Look, I think, like I said, AEW is now in a better position.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, I loved the idea of the Death Riders. and, hiding the title away and taking everything hostage. I think when that started, that was a good premise. And then it was about 250 days too long because then nothing really happened with it.
You had Darby challenge in his hometown and everyone's like, shit, Darby's going to win. He's going to get his first world title. That didn't happen.
Ospreay didn't happen.
Swerve
didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
And so I think now we're in a better spot because I think Hangman, you give him a little bit of time off, but, he can then have his match with MJF, which they've already started a feud on.
Yeah. They started that. They planted the seeds of that months ago.
Yep. And then you can just run back Hangman against all the AEW people that he's already wrestled and eventually get back to my assumption, Hangman Swerve for the title next year's All In. You've got to go back there. Surely you do.
A full year you want to give him the title for?
Hangman?
Yeah.
I think so. You gave it to Moxie for 267 days.
But you just said Hangman Swerve All In next year.
Which means no Ospreay?
Yes.
Well, Ospreay can go for the reunited Intercontinental
Unified
Championship instead.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. This has been our thoughts, feelings, and emotions all about AEW All In Texas Death. Thank you, Mr. Dan Danielson, for your time.
Reece.
I've been Roddy Reece. We're going to stop this podcast. We're going to watch Saturday night's main event and then record a review about that. And then we'll see you in a couple days for that review. And then a couple days after that, maybe, you'll see our Evolution review. We got three reviews to try and squeeze out in the next 7 days. We've got a lot of content coming your way. Thank you for committing to us, watching our content, liking. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next time down under the mat. Too sweet.